The UFC has officially announced a groundbreaking broadcast deal that is set to completely transform how fans in the United States watch the sport. Starting in 2026, the promotion will leave ESPN behind and make the move to Paramount, which will become the exclusive home for all UFC events in the US. This isn't just another contract renewal or a minor change in distribution. This is a massive 7-year agreement worth over $1.1 billion annually, with a total value of $7.7 billion over the life of the deal. This new partnership will replace the UFC's current arrangement with ESPN, a relationship that began in 2019 and reportedly brought the promotion around $500 million per year. When you compare the numbers, it's clear just how much bigger this new deal is. We're talking about more than doubling the previous broadcast revenue. Under the terms of this agreement with Paramount, fans can expect 43 UFC events every single year. That breaks down into 13 numbered events, the major pay-per-view style cards stacked with title fights and high-profile matchups, and 30 fight nights, which often serve as launching pads for rising contenders. But here's the game changer. For the first time in UFC history, US fans will no longer need to pay $7.99 for individual pay-per-view events. Instead, every UFC card will be included in the Paramount Plus subscription. That means one flat monthly fee gets you access to everything, from blockbuster title fights to those underrated fight night cards that produce breakout stars. This is a complete overhaul of the UFC's distribution model in America. And the accessibility doesn't stop with streaming. Paramount has confirmed that select numbered UFC events will also air live on CBS, its flagship television network. This will bring UFC fights into millions of additional households, including many that may not have access to streaming platforms. Right now, Paramount Plus subscriptions range from $7.99 to $12.99 per month, depending on the plan, although the company has not yet confirmed whether pricing will change once UFC coverage officially begins. UFC President Dana White expressed his excitement about the historic move in typical Dana White fashion, direct and passionate. Posting on social media, he said, "This historic deal with Paramount and CBS is incredible for UFC fans and our athletes. For the first time ever, fans in the US will have access to all UFC content without the pay-per-view model, making it more affordable and accessible to view the greatest fights on a massive platform. This deal puts the UFC amongst the biggest sports in the world. The exposure provided by Paramount and CBS networks under this new structure is a huge win for our athletes and anyone who watches and loves this sport." Mark Shapiro, the COO of TKO, echoed that excitement but also took a pointed shot at the old pay-per-view system. "The pay-per-view model is a thing of the past. What's on pay-per-view anymore? Boxing movies on DirecTV? It's an outdated, antiquated model. So it was Paramount for us. Forgive the pun, where it's one-stop shopping, especially for our younger fans in the flyover states. When they find out, wait, if I just sign up for Paramount Plus for $12.99 a month, I'm going to automatically get UFC's numbered fights and the rest of the portfolio. That's the message we want to send." This monumental shift is expected to reshape not only how UFC events are broadcast, but also how the sport is consumed by the next generation of fight fans. Accessibility, affordability, and massive mainstream exposure. This is the new era Dana White is talking about, and it begins in Meanwhile, in other MMA news, Jon Jones has responded to recent comments from Khamzat Chimaev, and it's clear there's a lot of mutual respect between these two high-profile fighters. In the build-up to UFC 319, fans noticed something interesting. Footage surfaced of Khamzat training while wearing a Jon Jones shirt. It was a subtle nod, but in the fight game, even small gestures like that get noticed, especially when they involve two of the sport's most dominant and talked about athletes. This respect between them isn't new. If we rewind to 2022, Khamzat openly called Jon Jones the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world. At the time, he was speaking to the Schmo during an interview, and his praise for the former light heavyweight champion was unmistakable. Khamzat didn't just call him great, he broke down why he believed Jones was on another level. He said, "Jon Jones, of course, nobody is like him. He beats the monsters. I did all my training with Alexander Gustafsson. I know how good he is, and if Jon Jones could stop that guy, it's scary. Daniel Cormier, he has pressure, good wrestling and boxing, and the mentality to just pressure the fighters and break them, and Jones stopped that guy as well. If he stays in the game, he has to be pound for pound #1. For context, Alexander Gustafsson is one of the most respected light heavyweights in UFC history, known for pushing Jones to the limit in their legendary first fight back in 2013. And Daniel Cormier, he's a two-division champion and one of the toughest competitors to ever step inside the octagon. For Khamzat to highlight those victories shows just how deeply he studies the sport, and how highly he rates Jones's accomplishments. Fast forward to now, and Jon Jones has finally responded to those words in an interview with Red Corner MMA. His reaction wasn't cocky, aggressive, or dismissive. Instead, it was genuine appreciation. Jones said, "I don't think he has any reason to toot my horn or even be humble. He doesn't have to be. I mean, heavyweights fear him, and the fact that he has so much respect for me really means a lot. It says a lot about his character, his humility to compliment someone in such a huge way. So I'm very grateful and honored." In a sport often fueled by rivalries, callouts, and heated trash talk, moments like this stand out. Two elite fighters at the top of their game, recognizing each other's skills and achievements, is something fans don't see every day. It's a reminder that beneath all the hype and promotion, MMA is also about respect. Respect for the craft, for the grind, and for the fighters who've paved the way. Whether we'll ever see Jon Jones and Khamzat Chimaev face each other in the octagon is still uncertain. They compete in different divisions and their career paths haven't naturally crossed, at least not yet. But if it ever did happen, it wouldn't just be a fight. It would be a clash of two of the most dangerous and intelligent fighters in modern MMA. For now though, fans will have to be satisfied with seeing this rare moment of mutual admiration, a sign that even in the fight game, respect can be as powerful as rivalry. Speaking of rivalries, the verbal battle between Arman Tsarukyan and Paddy Pimblett has officially reached a boiling point, and UFC fans are loving every second of it. What started as a few casual digs has now turned into an all-out war of words, with both men making it crystal clear that they believe the other is undeserving of a lightweight title shot. Over the past several days, their comments have gotten sharper, their tone more personal, and the tension more obvious. Paddy, never one to shy away from speaking his mind, recently took direct aim at Arman's ambitions for UFC gold. In a blunt statement that has since made the rounds on social media, the Liverpool star said, "I understand that I am ranked 9 or something, so other people probably are more deserving, but Posh Boy definitely isn't. Little rich boy showing how desperate he is, offering him £1 million to fight him. Spoiled rich baby trying to pay his way out of things. That's why he quit when he was making weight in a bath like a little. Arman's irrelevant. No one cares about him." It was the kind of remark that doesn't just question a fighter's ability, but also takes aim at his character and background. For fans, this was vintage Paddy, colorful language, unapologetic delivery, and no hesitation in adding a little extra fuel to the fire. For Arman, however, this wasn't just a war of words. This was personal. Wasting no time, Tsarukyan fired back with his own scathing response. Writing directly to Paddy, he said, "You're a nobody. A trash can at most. Daddy Dana fed you a couple of senior citizens to build your hype. That's all you are. Hype. I earned everything in my career. Nothing was handed to me, you bum. Now you sit your goofy down and wait until daddy tells you what to do." The jab about being fed senior citizens struck a nerve with many fans, referencing the criticism Paddy has faced over the level of competition in some of his UFC bouts. Arman's message was clear: he believes he's put in the hard work, faced tougher challenges, and climbed the ranks through grit, not marketing hype. This exchange is a perfect example of how rivalries in MMA don't always need to be built inside the octagon. Sometimes the words outside the cage do just as much, if not more, to create anticipation for a potential showdown. UFC matchmakers are no strangers to capitalizing on heated back and forths like this, and history shows that a little trash talk can fast-track a fight to becoming a fan favorite. As for the lightweight title picture, it's still wide open. There's no official word on who will get the next shot, but with Arman and Paddy making headlines almost daily, they're ensuring their names remain front and center in the conversation. The MMA world right now is buzzing on multiple fronts, from the UFC's groundbreaking billion-dollar broadcast deal, to champions crossing weight divisions, to show mutual respect, to intense rivalries like this one that could soon explode into must-watch fights. The sport continues to grow, not just in the cage but in its global presence, storytelling, and drama. Whether it's corporate power moves, heartfelt exchanges between elite athletes, or fiery trash talk that makes fans pick sides, one thing is certain: The next chapter for the UFC is shaping up to be big.